Well, hello, this is Rochelle, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is solely inspired by my friend Anri Erasmus from Painted Lemons, who came to do a class at Celindy's Crafts and Coffee, and she did these gorgeous succulents. The ones in my little moleskin book I did with the Albrecht Dürer watercolor markers. They are a Faber-Castell product that I cannot wait to get my hands on a full set of. And so I just tried it out while she was doing the class with the ladies. I tried it in my moleskin using the markers. So today I'm going to be replicating it in my Bible using the Faber-Castell watercolors. And what I do is I just put down a small little pea-sized blob in my palette and then getting my clean water, and I'm going to be working directly from the palette with this paint. So the way it is, it's like a kind of a liquid that you thin down with water, hence watercolor. So as opposed to a pan, this is a tube of watercolor paint. I did sort of erase the pencil sketch that I did beforehand so that I don't have to contend with trying to get those lines that I drew out after the watercolor has been painted on top of it. Something I'm learning, I am doing a few Skillshare courses during this lockdown period. I can leave a link down if you want 2 months of Skillshare for free. And I'm learning to leave a little bit of white spaces instead of drawing harsh lines. And just loving learning all the new watercolor tricks. Hopefully at the end of this 21-day lockdown, we'll all have learned a bunch of new talents and gifts, skills. So using different colors of green, and I'm mixing the different colors of green by using brown to add or blue to add, depending on if I want a blue-green or like a yellow-green. This brown is not very dark, so it makes a nice yellow-green kind of color. And so, yeah, my issue with this having to redo this is that I kind of had to do it the other way around with the tall succulents on the other side so that it edges on that side of the paper. The verse I'm working in is in Deuteronomy 2 verse 7, and it speaks of God bringing us through the 40 years in the wilderness, and that even in the wilderness we lacked nothing because of what God has done for us. And so in this time when there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of tension and small businesses are worried and even bigger businesses are worried. I'm a financial director. You've got to make the budget balance, all kinds of things that you don't ordinarily think of during a period such as this where it is a lockdown because of a virus. And so it kind of, reminded me of when the Israelites went through this period of wilderness, except theirs were 40 years and not just 21 days. But God supplied all of their needs and they had no worry and no fear or they shouldn't have had any fear because God provided along the whole way. There were no times when they were left and had to fend for themselves kind of thing. God just took care of it. So I'm adding some leaves and just foliage around this to fill it up a bit. And then, I'm going to be outlining it with my black Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen and an S-nib. I think actually I used the XS nib, which is the extra super fine one, so that I could not overwhelm the page with black lines, but just kind of have it as a part of the background. I'm playing with different brush strokes, and like I said, I'm learning a few new things trying to upskill. And so learning that different brush strokes and how you play with your hand, teaches you different leaves and foliage. So I want to encourage you, don't feel like you can't learn a new thing. Like this one. I'm using my hair straightener to straighten out my page or iron out my page once the watercolor is dry. And there you see the crinkly page is almost pretty much gone. And this will make it easy for me to be able to outline these images as well as put the alpha stickers down afterwards. The class that Andrew presented at Celindy's Crafts and Coffee was for a kind of lettering incorporated with watercolor basics. And so I'm not going to do the lettering because Andrew's the queen of lettering. I'm going to use the next best thing, which is a set of vinyl cutouts or alpha stickers that I have, that I ordered from the sweetest lady. And so these alpha stickers are just adorable, super fine. And I'm very happy that I have them so that I don't have to make up for my own handwriting. So to draw in the detail of these succulents, you kind of just make little crosses and diagonal stripes over the succulents. We're going to add some white dots over it with a Fabric Style big brush pen in a bullet nib. It's a white. It's pretty opaque, so I'm not making big circles, just kind of like light dots on the intersections between the diagonal lines. Still outlining my leaves at the moment, just very loosely, not at all anything precision kind of thing or realistic, just making little zigzag lines on the long upright or tall upright succulents. And here's where I use that big brush just to make the little white dots on this flat succulent. So like I said with the verse, I'm super thankful that in this time I really, there's two ways of thinking about this, and it really truly is a shift in your focus. We can say that we're stuck at home, or we can say that we're safe at home. There's a difference. I'm not stuck at home. I'm safe at home, and I'm thankful for being safe at home, for having breath to breathe, for having these supplies to even be able to keep myself busy with. There are so many people who don't have this refuge and the refrigerator and all kinds of things that we take for granted. And my heart goes out to them today. And really, as I read this passage, this I have lacked nothing popped out for me so many times, in the sense that I have to get up, and at every space in this time of 21-day lockdown, I have to change my mindset, shift my mindset to make sure that I understand that I can be very easily complain. I mean, we do that so easily. The Israelites also complained. Or I can stand back, look at the grace of God and His provision, and realize that I've lacked nothing, even in a time such as this. I'm gonna just do some splatters, obviously. So I add just a bit of more water to the blue and then splatter with my brush. I'm gonna just add my date as well at the bottom, just by using I think I used the big brush. Yes, I used the big brush to ink up my date stamp. And then I'm going to use an old, I cut out some tabs from scrap paper that I used acrylics on, so it had like little green and red and yellow, and I think I actually even made books out of these. So then I've got some tabs, stuck two together and sticking it on the top, just adding some kind of art marks just to have it look like the pot. Thank you so much for joining me and for listening to my ramblings. I hope to see you again soon. Stay safe, stay home, flatten the curve.